Начинаем. Alrighty, so it does look like we are already live. I'm gonna just pop on the YouTube page just to confirm that everybody hears us, sees us, and can engage with us as well. So hi dear audience, hi everyone. How are you guys doing? So let's just give a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds so that everyone gets adjusted, everyone gets the stress shaken off and all of that stuff. So let me see. Can you see the chat? So could you please write me if the connection is good, if the sound is good, like is everything all right over there? Let me try to see whether my connection is good with you so that I can also read the comments, because as you know, in a couple of seconds, I'll introduce our speakers today, but just for you to have it in mind, all the viewers, whoever is watching us right now, you can always leave your comments and questions addressed whether to InnMind, whether to our guest from MobiDev. So whatever you feel comfortable with asking, go ahead and do it. So, alrighty, I'm getting the thumbs up. I'm getting thumbs up from everyone. So shall we start then? So hi everyone. I know you already know me, so I don't think there's any sense of introducing me. I'm the guy from InnMind, DJ on the mic, guy from the business development, guy from the investment department, just simply Anton. So hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all doing okay. Without further ado, let me introduce the two beautiful ladies I've got in the studio today. These ladies are coming from the project, which is amazing in my opinion, which is bombing, and I'll explain to you why. They're coming from the project called MobiDev, which is pretty much the leading business and technical solution provider with over years of experience in end-to-end solutions delivery. And they're hosting right now the webinar together with us. So I'm going to just touch on the names, and I'll just introduce you to our speakers. I'll be the moderator, so I'll be just, adding up some of my words, comments from there from time to time. But I think it's interesting for you just to get to know them. Ladies, I will give you a couple of minutes to introduce yourself after I pretty much announce you to our virtual public. So the first speaker is Karnaukh. So she's the project manager, team leader at MobiDev. So Anna, pleasure to see you here. In a couple of sentences, just walk us through, what do you do at MobiDev?
Thank you. So hello everyone, and I'm really glad to have this event today with you. So a few words about me. Someone calls me product delivery evangelist, In fact, I'm project manager, team leader, I'm product delivery team leader. So lots of names on the same responsibilities. I'm the one who is responsible for product launch from POC to enterprise projects, and I'm always here to help visionaries to implement their ideas, and become them true. So maybe more words I will describe about myself and MobiDev, in fact, during my presentation. However, hopefully today I will be able to share our insights in shortcut and development roadmaps. And actually, I will try to answer the question how to get your product to the market or investors pretty fast. So that's my goal for today.
Alrighty, got you. Well, thank you very much, Anna, for your quick intro and walkthrough. About the MobiDev, and I got the second person right now who is also going to be speaking at this event. She's also coming from MobiDev, so it's Lyudmila Taranenko. She's the lead data scientist at MobiDev with 5 years plus experience in that field. So I'm not going to cover much of your portfolio or your background. I want you to introduce yourself, Lyudmila, just some couple of sentences as well, and get acquainted a little bit better, make our viewers get acquainted with you a little bit better to understand what do you do, what's your job at MobiDev.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I really glad to participate in this event. This cold autumn evening to to hold with you, and in this mood, I would like to share my knowledge actually, because it's really vital to evaluate your knowledge with other people and try to find really your direction and figure out what is going on outside your environment. So I really glad to share this knowledge about data science. I'm really data science obsessed person. So
Okay.
yeah, go ahead and let's start.
Okay, okay. Well, that sounds interesting. I hope you ladies can warm up these cold days, and even my camera is a little bit, turning like bluish and making, the atmosphere seem a little bit colder. But don't mind it. My computer, my PC is lying, so just don't pay attention to it. Without further ado, so let us move then to the first topic. If I'm not mistaken, the first topic should be the roadmap from the roadmap to execution, implementing machine learning with minimum risks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's awesome. I think that I'm going to be the main guy who's going to be listening to you, and I'm going to be also asking some of the questions by the end of this iteration. So go ahead, the stage is all yours.
Starting, maybe I will jump in, yep, and I do have a suggestion to start from the shortcutting of roadmaps and then go ahead with data science part. Are you okay with that?
Super sorry with that. Absolutely, my mistake in here. So shortcutting development roadmaps to get to the product and market investors faster. So that is absolutely right, Anna. Just jump from the topic. Sorry for that inconvenience. So let's go with that.
It's totally fine. I just believe that I will share a picture overall, yep, and Ludmila will lead us deeply into the data science, yep. So it will be
Perfect,
step-by-step journey for our viewers, yep. So let me share my screen right now. Please let me know that you see it pretty well. So my presentation, yep, first slide should be up here.
Yeah, absolutely, perfectly.
Yeah, so just like I told, I would like to share with you some of my insights in shortcutting development roadmaps in order to get the product to market and investors faster. And as you know, I'm representing MobiDev, and it's software engineering IT company. I work as a project manager, and among this project delivery, I also built our company culture and internal processes. So today you would hear a lot about culture, about company culture. And MobiDev, few words, yeah, just about us, is a software engineering company, and we provide full cycle consultancy and development services from ideation and POC to product launch and further on. We successfully completed over like 300 projects in healthcare, in e-commerce, AI, automotive, aerospace, energy sectors. And since we work with projects from different angles, from different areas, we can come up with some ideas how to adjust product roadmaps in order to meet actual business needs. Yeah. And for those who are watching and don't have much time, the essential idea of my presentation today is that in order to shortcut your development roadmap, it's not enough only to reduce the scope. There are much more efficient ways to adjust the scope to technical capabilities. But in order to do so, there is a need of deep understanding and involvement. And we will talk about one of our approaches to achieve short time to market that we created at MobiDev, and we call it MVP Lite. The place of MVP Lite is somewhere in between of needs of users, goals of business, and for sure possibility of technology. So let's go step by step. In order to stay competitive today, I believe in this rapidly changing business climates, companies, regardless of science or industry, must constantly be on the lookout for ways to control costs, to increase efficiency and boost profits. Yep. And this is especially true when we look at the impact that COVID-19 pandemic has had on business across the board. Yep, so now more than ever, organizations are understanding the importance of real-time financial data and how they can leverage this data to make more informed business decisions. And outsourcing is one of opportunities actually to stay stable, to have predictable expenses and still have an ability to grow and implement your ideas. So we cannot but agree that fact that COVID time brings us some anxiety, the need to adapt quickly to a new reality, and also instability and some additional risks. And as a result, we need to be more careful with budget and more tight with timeline. So it seems like everyone, including us, is trying to adjust to changes on the fly. I believe that through trying times, the most essential benefit that we can bring to our clients are flexibility and short time to market. That's why we come up with special offers for startup entrepreneurs. And one of them is MVP Lite approach. So choosing it, your product can be launched even in 4 weeks. So this short term, yep, and reduced costs became feasible because we help to prioritize the scope, and we suggest only those technical options that will implement your ideas faster and in a cost-effective manner. And the MVP Lite strategy could be applied for websites or mobile apps for such popular areas like e-commerce, marketing, education, and others. And this is a strategy that can be an option when you would like to develop a new product from scratch, or you are going to extend your existing product with new features. For example, in order to cover some new target audience or solve one more problem for your current users. And here just will be important to take into account your existing technical stack and constraints. Yeah, and it could be also a standalone project which will help to cover some business needs in addition to your existing projects. Or it could be something that will help you to test your idea and quickly receive a feedback on it. And let's review a particular example. Yeah, I believe it's the most interesting part. So let's go from words to tasks. Yeah, let's review this one example. It's one of our client, and with understanding of business needs, we have made a right choice for a web platform for clothing retail company. We simplified technical stack, so we were able to reach the same business goals with a half of a timeline and with approximately like 58% of saving. That was feasible because we decided to go ahead with technical solutions. Some of them were ready-made, and anyway, they help us to reach the same business goals. And just as I have mentioned, the place of MVP Lite is between needs of users, goals of business, and possibility of technology. However, it's much more complicated behind the scene. So I would like to share with you more details, how actually MVP Lite flow works. So once you, as a product owner, identify market need, your next task is to gather all ideas to solve for particular problems of the particular users by key value proposition. Perhaps it's nothing new for you. Yeah, it's a step when we would like to build an MVP also. Yeah. However, the next one is perhaps the most important part. It's identifying of constraints, and also key metrics that are important for the product and some metrics that could be ignored on the current step of your product. Once you understand that and defined potential scope with features, there is a turn for engineers, for development team to dive deeply into a project and come up with alternative technical solutions. That's important together with benefits from using some technical stack together its risks and restrictions. So on the next step, you should be able to compare business value with development effort and with technical constraints. That's the place where you could discover that some features need to be excluded from the scope or adjusted due to different reasons. And it's important to understand that we need to accept that there is an influence of development team on the scope. The most interesting part then is to make sure that finally your scope and your technical solutions match each other and match initial project constraints and key metrics that you identified previously. And here we are. We do have the feasible scope really that will bring you benefit to the end users. We do have a technical solution for it. So we are ready to plan, develop, and measure a success of MVP Lite. So something like that. And it could be difficult to understand from the very beginning. So I will bring also some small examples, yep, in order to share reflection, how it goes actually. For example, we can review how analysis is going on some real feature. For instance, you need to add search functionality into your project. There are such project constraints as minimal timeline and minimal budget. Pretty funny, pretty common request. So you're also able to highlight that key metrics are security, easy maintenance, compatibility to your existing solution, and you are fine with being not very flexible regarding available search features. So options that could come into the mind of development team, it could be a search engine from scratch, which for sure is time and effort consuming. It could be Elasticsearch, where you need to handle security issues by yourself and which has more technical overhead and maintenance. And there are also such services as Algolia, Google Custom Search that can handle such search functionality. And Algolia is, for example, SaaS service, SaaS solution, which means less work for developers to set up the system and easy to navigate user interface. Of course, it's not such flexible solution in comparison with Elasticsearch. So please note that this is not an advertisement for some technical solution. It's just an example of reflection. Yep. So in this particular case, we would advise to go ahead with some ready-made solutions, some Google Custom Search, for example. Yep. Instead of reinvent the wheel. Yeah, let's say in such way. And another one case. Let's say you want to refresh your website and cross-platform application with a lot of new content. So key metrics in this case for you are ability to easily manage content on multiple channels and preferable in one place, and short time to market. And available options. Yeah, it could be traditional APIs. It's longer and more complicated. It could be traditional CMS, however, doesn't have backend accessible on multiple platforms, or it could be decoupled CMS or headless CMS. And our approach here will be to choose headless CMS because it has backend where content is prepared and that's it. The content and its data are only accessible via calls made to the API, and instead of having content scattered on many different platforms and having to use tens of solutions just to get your content published, you can manage all it from the single location. And there are lots of places with the same workflow, where we adjust the technical solutions and can reach the same business goals with less budget and shorter timeline. However, as with any approach, there are also some challenges. I feel past few years that it was an era when you for sure need to develop something from scratch, because otherwise you are not a true developer or you are not a true visionary. However, as per our understanding, it's always better to simplify where it's possible to simplify and to use your effort efficiently. The strategy is a key. So taking into account challenges, it's very important, like to have, of course, wide experience of engineers. Yep. And what is also, I would like to mention that open mind of management is a pretty tricky question. So management need to be able to listen to viewers and adjust business plans on the fly. Yeah, so listen to development team and understand that sometimes it's better to implement something in a not so flexible way, however, pretty quickly. Let me be completely transparent with you. Yeah, as with any option nowadays, of course, there are some limitations. So I would like to be clear that MVP Lite is not supposed to be an end product. It's actually a basis for launching new ideas fast. Yeah, and it's the same rule as MVP. Yeah, it's not supposed to be an end product. And MVP Note is not designed to impress users and solve problems at the same time. It is focused on getting impression or problem solving. There need to be one or two key metrics, no more. Then it will be a true success of your project. Yeah. And MVP Lite not supposed to solve a unique problem which doesn't have any ready-made solutions and services yet. It's supposed to solve a real problem, but in a simple way. In order to sum up, so core statements of MVP Lite are simplicity, adjustments on the fly, and open mind for both engineers and managers. Yeah, so that's, I believe, pretty it regarding the MVP light approach and what does it mean and how it could help you. However, with MVP light approach, you probably would not be able to cover your innovative ideas which have no similar or reusable existing solutions. In this case, you can attract potential investors by tangible outputs that could describe your idea and prove your business plan. MobiDev even decided to offer no charge for such outputs during COVID time. Our message is, let's try start right away and to bring the first result and see how it goes. So here is an example of how we decided to go ahead with one of our Israel clients just a few months ago. When we have made a ROM estimate, we realized that it actually exceeds owner's budget. So we decided to involve UX designer and business analyst who quickly understood project vision and provided clickable wireframes and functional requirements for 3 major features just in 2 weeks. So now our client is ready for the investment attraction, and he is able to visualize his ideas and show pretty complicated business flows into simple, user-friendly screens. That's actually the reason why we usually suggest to start the development process of huge projects with discovery or consultancy stage before the particular implementation. And I will tell you what, I was pretty glad to find confirmation of our strategy and our mindset into lots of sources. Yeah. So like you can see on this picture, it's approach of testing business ideas by David Bland and Alex Osterwalder. They also truly believe that in order to test a big business idea, you break it into the smaller chunks of testable hypotheses. And these hypotheses cover actually 3 types of risks. First, that customers are not interested in your idea. Second, that you can't build and deliver your idea, for example. And the third one, risk that you can't earn enough money from your idea. So you test your most important hypothesis with appropriate experiments and with minimum cost. Each experiment generates evidence and insights that allow you to learn and decide how to move forward. If the evidence supports your direction, then you can go ahead with standard MVP or MVP Live, for example. By the way, one of suggested option for experiment is a clickable prototype, which can be delivered even in 2 weeks, just like as I have described in my previous example. Yeah. And in addition to classic MVP, you can also go ahead with different approaches. MVP is not the only one way. So you can spend your budget on the same features, but with validated technical stack, and that can reduce its cost, which means that product will be polished more and will bring value indeed for your end users. Or even you can develop more features which cover all user segments within the same budget. Although you can attract more budget from investors by real proof of your ideas. Let me also explain, so what can you do? I have consolidated possible strategies. Yeah. So on one hand, MVP Lite with priority features, just like we have discussed, and appropriate solutions from the technical side in order to achieve short time to market. Another one option, it's a minimal marketable feature. It has a small set of functionalities that has to be released and bring value to the customer in terms of business. It's in fact the ability to test your idea and increase loyalty of end users, and at the same time save cost and generate revenue pretty fast. Other options could be I have gathered them all together, like a clickable prototype, which helps you to validate and prove your idea, and same as sketches or architecture design schemes for more complex platforms. It could somehow share more details about your ideation. And another one option is research. For example, data science research. Yeah, maybe Ludmila will describe you more about that. And this research helps you to see new opportunities of your business. Also, one more option could be proof of concept for some areas where is a high risk of feasibility. And perhaps you are wondering how to choose among this lots of options. What is the best for you, for your particular case? So steps, as per my understanding, are as following. Firstly, you need to gather all your ideas and prioritize them. Pay attention on your project constraints, and that's like the second step. And the third step, finally, match ideas with available options. If you would like some partner, for example, to help you with this, it's always better to start from business analysis and make sure that development team actually understand business needs and constraints. And perhaps everything is better to understand with examples. So let's assume you have only one idea for now. Let it be that you would like to improve your current project, it's a shoes market, and you would like to implement a virtual fitting room. Yeah, in nowadays it could be pretty interesting how to provide a more convenient way for your potential buyers, to choose correct shoes, for example. So you know that projects with AI technologies are pretty expensive, and you have a board, for example, who is making a decision regarding budget. So how you can deal with this? You have an idea, implementation of virtual fitting room, and you would like to make it real. So you can go ahead and hope that it works, or you can look for options. MVP Lite won't help you because this is exactly the case when you cannot ignore the complexity of technologies. However, you can involve a team to develop the proof of concept for you with your particular branding, for example, and provide you together with that an accurate estimate and a roadmap for delivery. So you will be able to confirm a particular budget for particular benefits. And further, you are able to implement, in fact, minimal marketable feature. In other words, MMF, minimal marketable feature, it's a real feature that provides tangible value to customers. And if you can identify your product minimal marketable feature and then prioritize the release of those features, you will be able both earn and learn with the first feature while you work on the subsequent features. So this is exactly the case when starting from proof of concept and then going ahead with minimal marketable feature, you can reach your goal. I have also gathered some questions that perhaps could help you how to choose the best option for yourself. I hope that it will be useful for you. It's not the all questions that could arise in your head in order to come up with some decision. However, I have also prepared for this list of questions some cheat sheet. So you're able to brainstorm together with your board, your development team, for example, which option is much better for you. Let me sum up. So the initial question was how to deal with all of that and how finally to get to market faster. A short answer from my side is to choose the right strategy, which means to pick up the right option. However, how to choose the right strategy? And my strong answer is that company culture is a key. It doesn't matter whether you have outsourcing or in-house team, you should all understand business needs and have this mindset which is based on simplicity and efficiency. We have been able to be helpful for our clients because we first change our mindset and company values and started to be focused not only on the delivery itself, but on the process and creation of workspace where, in fact, product owner should not be grounded by necessity to dive into all technical details, into project management tools, but where product owner can be focused on his product, on his clients, on new ideas, Meanwhile, development team is taking into account not only technical side and management side, for example, but also business constraints. That's how we come up with MVP lights. That's how we start to think outside the box. Yeah. So my final message is that let yourself be focused on what really matters. Your know-how, your business, your clients, and you can reach that by delegating project routine and relying on experienced engineers who are able to suggest the right options, how to convert your ideas into successful products. And as per my understanding, trust and clear understanding of goals by development team is the core of success. So development team need to take care not only about technical side, however, about business side too. The latest message from my side: let yourself be focused on business and delegate project routine. Be open-minded, yeah, be focused on your ideas. They could really bring new value for market, and everything is possible, everything is doable. You just need to pick up a right option. Thank you for your attention. Feel free to ask me any questions right now or further. So I'm open to any questions and discussions even right now.
Perfect, perfect, Dennis. Thank you so much for your content. It was so cool. I was actually really hyped up. So I know that I know that I mentioned previously that I would be also asking a lot of questions about the data science, and that will be the second part of the topic. For now, what I want to do is to focus on some of the questions that I have from the audience, because if I start asking my own questions, I think only by tomorrow we'll finish it up. So I want to just make sure that I gather the most interesting ones that I got here. So here's one interesting question. What is, according to you, Anna, to your opinion, what is the most demanded technology or tech solution that might cover the public needs during the COVID times? Maybe based on MobiDev experience with other startups.
Yep. So interesting question, and you know, I can truly say that I do not have a particular answer, like the list of technologies that are really popular and worth to use right now. Yep. So how we usually go ahead and how we choose these technologies. Yep. We firstly review business needs. Yep. So in our house, like we have different branches. On the back end, it could be Ruby, Python, .NET, Java, so experience in each technologies. Yep. On the front end, it could be widespread of JavaScript frameworks. I even don't know JavaScript languages. For my understanding, I rise on each day something new and new. And also we have like native developers for native applications and cross-platform applications, so really wide experience. And I cannot say you that we need to be stick nowadays to only one particular technology and that's it. Yep. So it's better always to take a look on business constraints. So if obviously during pandemic time it's short time to market, then perhaps you can go ahead with some frameworks or technologies that do have a lot of ready-made solutions in your business field, in your business area. Yeah, so I cannot say that, for example, JavaScript is, for example, a quick onboarding time. Yep. So and quick development time. So you will be able. You need to choose only JavaScript language and frameworks for the implementation. It will be not the right way, as per my understanding. So it's better all together really core features. Yep. And find ready-made solutions for that in order to provide short time to market. So I don't really stick to any kind of solutions currently, and I haven't seen that, for example, someone who is focused only on one technology, for example, let it be like some PHP CMS services, yeah, that they, for example, have this experience only with one scene, you have one CMS, and they will share the information that this is excellent point excellent solution for any business domain. It's just really sounds a little bit crazy for me. Because even if you do have experience only in this one technology, there could be perhaps tens of technologies that would solve it rather better than you solve this currently. That's why like we spend lots of time actually for researchers, you know, and for some proof of concepts even from for ourselves, just to prove that this technology could be used in this particular field.
Okay, Anna, thank you for that. Speaking of technologies, actually, just wanted to address another question from the audience that I see here, so I'll read it out loud to you. So, what technology will you recommend that most of young modern developers know, so that it will be easier and cheaper to hire the in-house development team leader?
You know, it's just the case that I have faced in one of my latest projects. Yep, when we were talking about the solution for fintech field, and we were choosing between React Native and Flutter. So on the front end side, I mean. So the idea, the point of view of my client was that exactly like following. I know that for React Native, I will find lots of guys who I will be able later to hire and to support the project. Yeah. And because we have heard about React Native for a long period of time, and we see like CVs on some websites, yeah, that there are such guys that could develop on React Native, and it's pretty huge community. And Flutter, for example, I don't know, it's much, I don't know exact years, yeah, but it's much more younger technology. However, what is interesting that for example, with Flutter, there are growing community, really huge tempo of this growing community, and lots of guys have been switched from one field, one technical stack to Flutter because it's easier to implement. And here I would like also to focus that maybe it's not so important how huge the market of developers is currently. Yeah, it's more important how quick you can have onboarding to this technology. And maybe it's not correct from my side, but here I will highlight Flutter, for example, yeah, because I will tell you the truth. Yeah, I would like to be totally transparent with you today. So perhaps maybe 25% of our guys who worked with native iOS and Android and JavaScript cross-platform switched from their languages to Flutter. Yeah, so now it's really interesting thing, and it was their own decision. Yeah, they wanted to do so. They really saw benefits from see benefits from Flutter. So I'm advertising it right now. Yeah, but it's just based on my experience, and I cannot prove with some researchers yet that it's the best solution ever or technology ever. Yeah, it's just what I see in my last examples. Yeah.
Okay. Anna, one last question before we move on to the second topic. So there's a question in regards to the difference. So is there a difference in tech perspective between B2B and B2C products? The second question following up is, do corporate customers have some preferable technology?
Yeah, actually, I will start from the end, from the last question. Yes, so
Okay.
do corporate companies have any preferences? Yeah, what I see from years of experience and working with enterprises, yep, they usually have some restrictions and they stick to some technologies because of in-house team, because long time for onboarding, for changing processes. And for me, it was more related actually to cloud infrastructure. I have actually, let's say, a fight with one of our enterprise clients because of using Azure versus AWS. Yeah, because they are Microsoft oriented. Yep, everything, any department is stick to Microsoft solutions. Yep, so they have to use Azure no matter what. Yep. So it doesn't matter is it suits needs of the project, or it's easier to go ahead with DigitalOcean or AWS, they stick to Amazon and Azure, sorry. The same could be with languages. Yep. They prove during 10, 12, 20 years of experience that this is, for example, JavaScript or .NET, it's usually related to that, are really true languages. Yep. So we don't care about some Flutter that has appeared and maybe it will die in months or a year or so. They would like to be stick on some stable long-term solutions all the time. Yep. And it could be a case. Yeah. And we are actually open to choosing some technologies, and discussion is always a key. Yep. So you need to understand that it's one more constraint. Yeah. Just I was like I was talking. Yep. That we need to take into account key metrics and constraints, and it's a rule, yes, that need to be taken into account during choosing of technical stack. And if we are talking about B2B and B2C projects, it depends, as usually in project management and product deliveries. Yeah, it always depends. And I would rather say that with any of points, yep, you need to ask the first one question, yeah, that's the most important as per my understanding. Who are your end users? Yep. And with B2C, you perhaps are closer to your end users. Yep. You can ask questions, receive a quick feedback, because you have more tight relationships. There are less of these customers. Yep. And you understand them more. Yeah. And with B2B, perhaps there is a range, plenty of different target audience, target groups in your target audience. Yeah, but it could be more complicated. But it also, of course, depends, as per my understanding, more on business domain. Yeah. So just B2B and B2C, it's too high level in order to be able to answer on this question. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Anna, remember I told you that would be the last question from my side. I'm sorry I lied to you. I just was scrolling down again all the chat, and I found one question that I think will be interesting, because I'm not sure whether I heard an answer from you, but maybe that question will, be able to will help us to clarify something. So the question is the following one. Just give me a second. Yeah. So, do you have any experience with regulatory validated systems? So that is the question coming from the one of our viewers.
Yeah, if I got it right, the example of such systems could be HIPAA compliant systems. Yep, and we do have such cases. And we do have a case with releasing to App Store actually COVID-related application, for example. Yeah, and there are lots of rules that need to be taken account, but it's doable if. Yeah. So we have HIPAA compliance projects. We have also worked with different level of GDPR and DPAI compliance. Yep, and usually we have in-house lawyer who can suggest us how to move forward. Yep, and we also trying to investigate deeply legal basis and legal rules. However, we expect openness from client side also, and that they could jump into this field together with us. Yeah. There are lots of interesting terms and conditions in different fields, and some legal constraints that need to be taken into account. And each case could be a little bit unique for some particular country. Yeah, but we are able to make some investigations, and we also expect that product owner is able to dive deep into this question together with us. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Anna, just to clarify this exactly. So that the question, it was basically just elaborated a little bit better. So those systems, they are scientific systems for clinical trials. So that was the question pretty much. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's HIPAA compliant, I believe also. Yeah, so yeah, it's something that we do have experience in.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, with that being said, I think that we can also leave you for just a couple of seconds, to take a breath, to relax a little bit, and leave the stage to our second speaker, your colleague Ludmila. So, that being said, I already announced your topic, Ludmila, previously, but since I want to make sure that everybody hears it, I'll introduce it one more time. Unfortunately, that there's no like drumming or something, in the backstage, but that would create somehow like the mystery and the enthusiasm behind it. So the topic is the following one: from roadmap to execution, implementing machine learning with minimum risks. Hope I got this right. Hope I made this clear and loud to everyone. So Ludmila, the stage is all yours. Welcome, and off you go.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I'm sharing my screen and let me know if everything is okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Yeah, okay, great.
Perfect.
So just a small intro. So I guess machine learning is the most discussed topic in the tech sphere. And today I'm here to give you some more deep understanding of how to implement such decision in your project, how to choose the right direction, and do not get lost in all these terms and approaches. So my name is Ludmila, and let's get started. A few words about myself. I'm a data scientist at MobiDev company, and actually we have a separate data science department here. And me and my team, we are working on such a huge range of projects, starting from classic machine learning and ending with some computer vision projects. We have a bunch of completed projects and implemented data products, and which really currently solve challenging problems without humans. The main for our focus today is to understand how to start. What should you do to create the powerful artificial intelligence system? What should you know before creating the roadmap? And how to apply your knowledge, which Anna has just shared with us, to machine learning projects. And so I guess enough to talk about the theoretical stuff. Let's get down to business. So I have divided my talk into three main parts. So today we are going to discuss the business, the data, and the approaches. So first of all, let's talk about the collaboration between business and data science. I would like to draw your attention on this schema on this slide. So this is the common data science process for building machine learning projects. And as you can see, the first stage and the main stage on the schema is business understanding. So yes, we are the scientists, but first of all, our goal is to understand the business needs, the business goal, and help to solve the core problem, and only then look for some approaches and build the product. And also, I would like to add that it is vital to be closer to the domain experts and dive deeper into the particular sphere. This leads me to my next point, and talking about our experience and actually the different businesses and projects. It's very interesting to see how your horizons are expanding with new customers. And actually, based on our experience, we implemented different solutions for the restaurants and retailers in order to forecast, predict their sales in the future. And also a huge number of customers, they work with images, videos. So therefore, we worked with biometrical identification, customers tracking, object detection task, and a lot more. So I would like to point out here that all these cases, we started with a business analysis. We went through all system paths to be able to project the business goal into data science goal, and only then start to work with some algorithms and data. So several months ago, I saw in my news feed on LinkedIn such an interesting and in the same way very important survey. So what is more important, the data or the science? So try to answer to yourself and we will see if it matches with my decision. So actually, as far as I'm concerned, the answer came to my mind immediately. So I am 100% convinced that the data is the most important thing in the whole process. So we can find and apply some huge and complex algorithms, but actually with poor data and data with low quality, it gives nothing. And however, with representative data and some simple algorithms, we can achieve more great results. And actually, to put it simply, in order to solve the business problem, we proceed with data. And then we convert this data into the information. So we extract actually this information. And then this information, we proceed and come up with the insights, because these insights for business owners are most important, which were unknown previously. So I call them some hidden gems. And yeah, so we found out that everything starts with the data, and maybe I will be a little bit more annoying, since I would like to zero in on the problems which are possible with low or poor data. So points here is the first point here is low generalization. So what does it mean? It means that models perform well only on some limited amount of data and cannot be applied for the whole system. And the second problem is underfitting. And it brings us to the situation when model quality is low, or model didn't learn all patterns inside the data. The third and the last point here, a problem is overfitting. When the model really performs well, we have a huge accuracy, almost 100%, but it really works well only on training data and works bad with other data. But luckily, there are a lot of different sources where you can collect the data. And actually, nowadays, we produce data everywhere and every second. And when we buy products, when we click on a like button, when we call friends, so a lot of options here how to collect, how to proceed with these sources, where to extract, collect, dig this data. And now let's figure out why data science, because we understand the data is important, but why data science is important, and why should we jump into this train called with the name data science. So here is the small picture of what is going on. So as you can see on the top of this pyramid, we have events. So yeah, as we agreed, these events is all clicks, videos, posts in social media, purchases, everything. And on the next hidden levels, we can find the patterns, structures inside this data, identify relationships between different data points, so we can figure out for example, in social media, some influencers based on the social activity, based on our fingerprint in social media. So a lot interesting stuff locates here actually, and then it brings us to the most valuable option in order to automate different processes, and this is mental models. So they help us to make the decision-making process more clear, more transparent. So we know, for example, in some advertising, we know exact customers which we would like to send our promotion, which we really know that it's worth it to send some discount for this particular customer, not based on only marketing research. So previously I showed you the schema with the data science process, and let's dive deeper with the specific details. So let's have a simple example to go through this process. So for instance, we would like to figure out if our sales of sunglasses depend on the country. So this is the question, this is our hypothesis, that it really depends if you are located in the USA or in the Europe or in Africa. So we set this question, and then we go with the data. So we try to find this relevant data. So we would like to collect the information from different sources about the purchases in terms of different countries, and find the core data for this task, for this special task. So I really don't care about the situation, I don't know, on the Mars. So I really interested only this particular case. So then we proceed with the data. So we explore the data, we remove outliers, we clean actually this data. So also, for example, work with missings, because data really not with good quality. I mean, not, always it is dirty. So you, as a data scientist, you have to proceed with some techniques to clean the data. And then in order to answer the first question, we come up with some model which will answer us the question: do these customers, will these customers buy the sunglasses or not? And then we validate the results and communicate them with the business owner, with the business expert. So here is the collaboration between data scientist and the business owner, because you need to validate your results, understand if you achieve your goal in terms of test hypothesis or not. And speaking of the value of data science implementation, here is the chart which show us different levels of value against difficulty. So as you can see, the first and bottom level is answer the question, what happened? So it's some insights about the historical data. So we would like to describe this statistical information. The next level is to answer the question, what will happen? So we try to predict the future. We try to answer the question, what will be in the future? And the third and the most difficult but most valuable layer is answer the question, how to make it happen. So we come up with some optimization algorithms which can provide you these next steps, how to improve, what to change to achieve the results. And as we agreed, when we understand the business task, then we can proceed with the data layer. Now I would like to help you understand how to start. So yeah, data is the most important thing. So if you have this data, the next question is, does it have the target? So what does it mean, this target? So if you want to predict, for example, these sunglasses purchases, so you have this particular target. So you want to answer the question, customer will buy or not. But if you don't have these targets, for example, you want to identify some groups of your customers inside the data. So you don't know these exact groups, but this is a task to find these clusters inside your data. So then you just proceed with unsupervised machine learning. So there is some different opportunities. And if you don't have the data, it's not the point that you need to upset about it. So if you have some application, you can create this environment to collect the data. For example, create some chatbot which help you to negotiate with the customers and collect their answers, their feedbacks in terms of your product. And then you can work with this information. Or if you don't have the data, also we have the solution here is to use the open source data, because now we have a lot of opportunity via internet to find some suitable data to test the water, to try some hypotheses based on available data. So for example, if you would like to identify the person, so we can collect a lot of images with different people and train the model. Or also it is the case to scrape some data from for example, online shops and have this description for the items, products, and also you will have this data. And then in this process, you can come up with your own data. But actually to start, it is the case to start with some open source data. And actually, the most suitable option for machine learning project, here we can start with proof of concept. In order to finalize my words, I would like to come up with some project example where we come up with such flow for the proof of concept and test the hypothesis. So first of all, I would like to give you some understanding of this project. So the business idea is to have the smart planner, some smart calendar, which can help you to organize your events, improve productivity, and decrease time wasting to build this perfect plan. And this business case is a startup where we face problem with data, of course. And our team suggested using the open source data and collect existing calendars of our employees, other people, and use available data sets with different daily activities, with information from these devices, from tracking, from smart watch, and other stuff. So, really, this information now is available via different resources, and we can really start with this data in order to test the hypothesis if it's a really viable idea that that machine learning can help you to come up with a good plan for a day. So then we analyze the data, find similar events which can be combined with each other. For example, when you running, you can go for a walk with your dog, for example, and we can combine these events. Maybe for someone it's not suitable, but yeah, everything is adjustable. And so also the point here is to find some correlations between gender, position, location. So it also really vital to know the person type to help them to come up with the plan. And then build a model which can generate the suitable time slot for the input event, or can combine these two events at the same time in order to not to waste, not double waste some time slot if you can combine some events. And the next step is to evaluate the results and understand the accuracy of such predictions. And again, here we need to include some human evaluation, because yeah, we have some metrics, some formulas to measure their success, but actually, of course, it's some intelligence, so we need to evaluate the results with our own brain and with the business expert, business person, or actually with the expert. And actually, it brings me to my last point. Here I put some takeaways which I would like to leave with you. So as you understood, data is the most important. Data is the fuel for the data science process. And the second point is don't wait for some right moment to start to test your hypothesis. Just to start today and proceed with your idea, because you need to understand if it's really valuable. Do you need to come up with some huge software development or it doesn't worth it? So really the right moment is today. And the third point is that I would like to pay attention that our main goal, aim is to solve the business problems, solve problems, not to advertise. So it's not the cool, data science is not some cool feature which you can include to your project. It's really some mechanism to solve the problems. And the last point, the last but not the least, so if you have some questions, you don't need to go around and think, what if I implement, not implement, if I bought or not. So you don't need to have these thoughts. Just try to test this idea, test this hypothesis, and relieve yourself. So thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, you can find me at this my email, or just ask right away. If you have any ideas, you can contact our business manager, Tatiana, or if you're interested in some details, in some more business cases, some interesting insights, you can visit our website via this link. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Ludmila. That was really cool. I actually think that, well, if maybe to become a little bit more philosophical and prove your point regarding the data, I would maybe quote Yuval Noah Harari, who pretty much nailed for me the definition, the meaning, how much the data means. So he's quoting him, his phrase was, "Those who own the data own the future." So my take on that is that I pretty much totally agree that the whole power, the whole ability to predict, to analyze, to understand better is by owning the data and also knowing how to operate with it. So I pretty much just wanted to also emphasize from my side how important this topic is. So I really appreciate your time as well to dedicate this to our audience and to those who's going to be watching us later on. For now, I have a couple of questions popping up from our community, so we still have a good time. So I
Mhm.
would just ask a couple of them from your permission. So the question number one that I have is, in your opinion, how would a blockchain-based system help or in reverse worsen the data science project solutions? So if just to rephrase it, I would say, would a blockchain system, blockchain-based system, somehow influence, the data science solutions?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Really great question. So now these days, I really a lot face with this question, this suggestion from clients. They really ask a lot about it because data is so must be secure, and we need to think about it in advance how we will. Store everything, how we can guarantee the security. And actually, I guess that this is a good collaboration for us. I guess that blockchain influence on the data science on the good manner. What I mean is that if we work with data, we need to think about this security. And for the data science part, yeah, we need to receive this piece of data. But in terms of algorithms, I don't care how I receive this data. But in terms of security and business perspective, it's really vital. That's why, yeah, now it's a good opportunity to combine these two technologies. But I would like also add here that we need to keep in mind that if we would like to choose these two technologies, it also might be a really good understanding and explanation why we choose. Because if we would like to advertise and just add this line that we use blockchain and data science, it's really not worth it. But if really the case is worth it, so I agree with it.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Another question, if I may ask. So I was reading down the comments, see the question popping up. I'll read it out loud for you. Right now, I see so many data-related startups with more or less similar messaging about data management, importance, and value. How to market the data product to make it visible among others.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so here again, this my point that you need to solve the problem. So you need to find some really some problematic which you can solve for your customers. So it's not about some advertising so that you use some more powerful data science, artificial intelligence algorithm. No, it's not about it. So it's more about the solving the problem and what value you can bring for your customers. If you can if you have the same idea as your competitors, and there are a lot of them, so I'm not sure that you will succeed with it if you don't start earlier. So I guess here you need to have a strong vision of the future of your product. And yeah, in some case, data scientists can help you to figure out what you can bring for your customers more based on this data which you have. But yeah, if it's just something as I don't know, the new Facebook, I'm not sure that you will succeed.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I think for now we can actually move on to our last iteration. So thank you, Ludmila, also for your pitch. Really appreciate it, and just wanted to remind to every viewer who's watching us live now or who's going to be watching us later on, you're more than welcome to formulate your questions and ask directly the guys at MobiDev. So they've got their contacts. We'll reproduce the contacts again. So we'll share it everywhere. You're able to call them. You are able to text them, find out what's up, find out some of the questions, answers on the questions you're looking for. So no worries with that. Absolutely. Every question will be answered. 150% guaranteed from that. So with that being said, I think that it's interesting to switch to, let's say, to the discussion panel, sort of, let's call it discussion panel. What I think is actually about the fact that we've researched and asked the communities on the fact of, okay, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to ask the guys from MobiDev? You know, so the most repeated question, the most, I would say, famous actual topic that everyone wanted to hear is, of course, and I think it's going to be the hitting the trends and again, and it's about the COVID. Thanks God that it's not only about it, but it's actually the fact on why and how to choose between short-term pandemic market fit and long-term market fit for your product. So I think that this is interesting. So we'll dedicate a couple of minutes just to talk about this. Maybe I'll also speak from my side to what I think. But, you know, I want to address this question to the experts. I want to talk to you, Ludmila and Anna. So what's your take on that? Let me, again, just repeat the question. Why and how to choose between short-term pandemic market fit and long-term market fit for your product? Go ahead. Whoever wants to start, please start. You're welcome.
I have already muted myself, so I will start. I will jump in if you don't mind. Yeah, Ludmila, are you okay with that?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
So it sounds for me like how to choose between short-term plans and long-term plans. Yep. And I would like to answer firstly with one short sentences. I truly believe that long-term plans are not working anymore. It's not everything I would like to say, but yeah.
But that was already good. That was already like straight to the point. You just cut everything else, you know?
Yeah, but really, speaking truly, I believe that long-term plans are not working anymore, and there are in fact long-term goals. Yep, and in order to implement some big idea, yeah, let's say you need to test it firstly, just like Ludmila just described about data science related projects, or like I described about the whole entire different business domains and different technologies. You need to test your business idea firstly. So you break it down into smaller chunks and testable hypothesis. Yeah, that's the core idea. And even more, yeah, but I would like to add one more thought, yeah, into this field. That in fact, like crisis time, yeah, this like trying times, crisis, in fact, do not give rise to new trends. I mean that they perhaps accelerate existing ones. I will bring you like an example from one of our projects. Yep. So, for instance, there was it's a project in Horeca restaurants. Yep. So I believe it's really one of the fields that has been influenced by pandemic and this lockdown issues pretty a lot. Yeah. And what was the situation? There was a feature in the backlog that was there, I don't know, for a year or even more. Yeah, this is a feature of contactless POC terminal, you know, so and contactless solutions right now during pandemic times, they are much more important. Yep. And for sure the new reality, yep, put this feature into the highest priority, and it has been already implemented actually pretty quickly. Yep. So they decided to postpone all other features and bring this one to the market as soon as possible. Yep. And here is an answer on your initial question actually. Yep. How to choose between short-term and long-term plans. Yep. I truly believe that you need to be focused mostly on the short-term plans, yep, and keep in mind your big idea, your long-term focus, your long-term goal. However, here and now, implement something that is valuable for your end users. Try, yep, test different hypotheses, try to solve problems of end users that are actual. You can feel your field. Yep, you can know, you can try to understand your end users more. Yep, and bring them various step by step, and be focused on the situations that your end users feel right now. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
totally. Totally. I do agree as well with that. And I think that, coming from a little bit more, again, maybe generalized view, on a superficial, what I see, what I think, weighing on the, short term versus long term, I think the world and the technology is so fast evolving that we literally, fight for every millisecond of our time with everything. We make devices that are faster and faster every day. We make the software that helps you to ease some of the steps. Whenever you are talking about long term, that means long time consuming process that is built for something that you're unsure of in the future, so that your product and market fit of that product can shift millions and millions of times before you actually come to that long-term goal that you've set to yourself. I think it's not even like chicken and egg problem, it's not even that, but I think it's more about, okay, well, let's make it priority, right? Let's prioritize. So you're having a startup, right? You're having a company that is very young, ambitious, you have a lot of dreams, you have a lot of objectives. You can't be betting only on your long term, thinking, okay, what's going to be happening in the future? Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. Short-term goals is exactly for this, so that you can quickly adjust, you can quickly understand and analyze what to do with it. And I think that's what, that maneuverability, that kind of ability just to swirl around those problems. That's what gives you the actual advantage in the game. And once again, just repeating, so many startups, so many technologies evolving, so many competition around it. You can't afford to be that late. That's something that I think and I truly believe. So answering this question, Ludmila, I just wanted to get to know your opinion a little bit better as well. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, so actually from data science perspective, if I data scientist here, so so actually after the pandemic and during the pandemic, we face a problem with our models. So actually we built models, for example, a year ago, and everything was really pretty okay. Our accuracy was very high, and we were very successful. But then I mean a model for predicting the revenue of the company, and then we just saw this down line and only zero, and it was awful. It was some really enormous event for our model, and actually you cannot predict such cases, and you must be flexible here right now, and any prediction model can help you with such cases. So what we did, so we come up with a completely new model, short-term model actually. So here is some hidden answer for this question. So we have some short-term model which takes into account only small period of time, not some huge sales history, not some really good piece of data, and come up with a new model. And yeah, this is the reality for now, and we cannot rely on our previous performance. We need to build the system. We need to be really flexible right now, right here.
Got it. And I truly agree with that. I think all three of us pretty much came down to the conclusion that short term wins. If we were to compare this and to say, okay, who's more important now? We all three pretty much agreed on the same thing. So to be honest, I got nothing more to say. I'm really grateful and so happy for you to come in here, and really appreciate your time, appreciate your knowledge, and on behalf of InnMind and from all our community, from all the watchers, from all the viewers who were engaged in our conversations, I really thank you and appreciate you taking your time just to visit us and walk us through your topics. I think that what we can do is, just to summarize it, and I'll be really, really short in my take on that. Guys, whoever needs great ideas and solutions in a technical business or any other area that you may think of, you got the guys right here. You got amazing, super talented, so interesting to hear, and so eager to see how they can help workers and representatives of MobiDev. You just guys go visit their website, check everything you've got in there. Some of the community members were texting us asking whether they could see this material that you shared with us now. So that will be also very helpful for them to analyze again and walk through some of the things. But on my side, I just want to thank you, and I think we shall wrap up. So whoever is watching us, guys, thank you so much for your time. Please subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to watch this video, share this video with everyone else. We're going to share this video after we are wrapped up with the live with the live thing. Just use your potential, use your data, guys, use your social media, everything. Spread the message as fast as possible. Let's make everyone hear about InnMind and MobiDev. So ladies, thank you once again. I said it already millions and millions of times, but never will be tired of it. Wish you all a great evening, and hope to hear you soon.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to participate. Yep, and I would like to highlight that there were really interesting questions. Yep, so even seems like a holy war for our team inside, to discuss which technology is the best for MVP Lite and so on. Yeah, so thank you so much. It was very interesting for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, the same from my side. I really glad, and now this evening much warmer, and I really appreciate to participate. Yeah,
that's true. Thank you once again, and we'll see you soon, guys. Take care.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Take care.
Take care.